welcome to Slinkard Party of 4. Thank you so much for joining me here today. My name is Mindy, and my husband informed me I had to get out from behind the camera. So, hi. I wanted to tell you guys what we were going to be doing today. I have a friend that is getting ready to have surgery, and she wanted her family to be prepared and ready for meals while she was down. We know hubbies are wonderful and great and that they are perfectly capable of making dinner, but when we already know we're going to be short our helpmeet, it's nice to have things ready to go and prepared and ready. So this is me helping them out, getting some meals together for them that I'm going to take them later today. And so today we're going to put together 10 freezer meals. We're going to do 2 mini bacon cheddar meatloaf meals. We're going to do 2 buffalo chicken chilies, 2 bacon ranch stuffed shells, 2 Mongolian beefs, a thing of meatball subs, 1 thing of that, and then 1 balsamic pork roast. So we're going to get all that together and going, and we're going to have a great time doing it, and it shouldn't take too long, so let's get started. Okay, so I know that I'm going to have to be using a lot of chicken breast today, shredded chicken breast today for my meals. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cooked up and ready to go so that we can shred it. I've got 2 of my Instant Pots here ready to go. I'm going to simply put my lids on, make sure that they are to sealing, both of them, and then I'm going to do pressure cook. And because they are frozen, we're going to do 25 minutes. All right, pressure cook. 25 minutes. All right, and that should pressurize, and that should get them all cooked, and then we'll shred them. All right, so the very first meal we're going to do something really easy. We're just going to put together our meatball subs. So I've gotten a freezer Ziploc bag here. I've written meatball subs on it, and then I've written the directions for the slow cooker, which is low for 2 to 3 hours. And then I'm going to take one of my little stands here, put it on this, and this one is about as easy as it gets. So I'm simply taking a bag of already made meatballs, I'm gonna dump them in here, and then I've got a jar of sauce, and I'm just gonna dump it in there. And then I'm going to seal it up really good. Get as much of the air out as you can, and then just mix it around so it gets all nice and mixed up. And then that's that for that. I know that seems so simple and so easy, and it really truly is, but when all you got to do is open that up and throw that in a crock pot, and then when it's done, throw some shredded cheese or some provolone cheese on it on a sub, you're ready to go, and you can feed the masses just that quick. All right, we have our next meal here. We're working on our slow cooker Mongolian beefs. So basically, I just went and got, you want to get any type of real thinly stripped meat as you can. I know they suggest flank steak, but just basically go see what your grocery store has. You just want something that's really thin, and it's going to be really, really thin. So I just took some kitchen shears and cut this up into strips, and then now I have it in a bag with some cornstarch. I'm going to seal that up. All right, and I'm just going to mix it around with all that meat, get it all nice and evenly dusted as best that I can. All right. All right, so now I've got my bags. They're already labeled. This is going to be for the slow cooker. You can cook it on low for 4 to 5 hours. And then at the end, I always take a thing of broccoli and steam it in the microwave and add it at the very end just to get some extra vegetables in there for my family, and we really like it with the broccoli. We typically serve ours over rice. I'm just gonna take this, I'm gonna separate this out between these two bags. All right, that looks to be about the last of it. All right, so next we're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of olive oil. All right. Some garlic. Three-fourths cup of soy sauce. There's a 1/4. See if we can get this off. Don't think so. There's a 1/2. And 3/4. We're gonna do the same in this one. There's a 1/4. Half. And 3/4. Okay. Next is 3/4 cup of water. A 1/4, a 1/2, a 1/3, 1/4, a 1/2, 3/4. Okay. Now we're going to do 3/4 cup of brown sugar. Okay, rinse this off and dry it off. All right, so there's a 1/3. A 1/2, 3/4. Does anybody else ever have to talk to themselves when they're measuring so they don't forget? I know I always do. All right, there's a 1/4. There's a 1/2. And 3/4. Okay, now shredded carrots. Now, I cheat. I most certainly cheat. Yes, I do. I can't cut that fine. It would take me way too much time. And I think these were $1.77 a bag. is worth it to me. All right, now we're gonna take that off. And that's probably more carrots than it calls for, but more veggies, right? All right, so I'm gonna seal this up nice and tight. Push out as much air as I can. And then I'm just gonna mix it all around. And then I'm gonna push out all the extra air. And then I have got 2 more meals done and ready to go. That easy. All right, now we are back with our balsamic pork roast. I've already got my bag labeled. It is in a freezer bag. I already have my pork roast in here. Now I'm going to do 1 cup of chicken stock. All right. And then I'm going to do 1/2 of a cup of balsamic vinegar. All right, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Yeah. Is that how you say it? How do you say it? Worcestershire. No idea. It's always the running question, right? All right, there's 1 and 2. All right, now 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. All right, 1/4 a cup of brown sugar. Half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Half a teaspoon. You can always put more or less heat depending on what your preferences are. 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. One and 2. All right. All right, and that's all for that one. We're going to kind of mix all that together, seal up the bag really good, and that's 1 more meal down and ready to go. All right, so now we are getting ready to start on our mini cheddar bacon meatloaves. Now, a friend of mine gave me this recipe, and of course, I have changed it and made it my own over the year. I've had it for about 2 years, and it's something that my family and I really love, which is surprising because I hate meatloaf. But I'm doing this, and I don't have a bowl large enough to hold it all, so we're going to do it in 2 bowls. So in this bowl, I have 3 pounds of ground beef. In this bowl, I have 2. I know a lot of people like to use 80-20 ground beef for like hamburgers and meatloaf and stuff. I have always used 90-10, and I've never had a problem with it. But we're going to start out with 1 egg for each pound of ground beef. There we go. 2, 3 in this bowl. We're going to do 2 into this one. All right, let me go wash my hands real quick. All right, next we are going to do 3/4 cups of milk for each. We're gonna eyeball it. 3/4 cup milk for each thing of each pound of ground beef. So we're going to call that 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 2 3/4 of a cup in here. So 1.5 cups. All right. All right. Next, we are going to do 1/2 cup of oats, and that's going to be per pound of ground beef. So again, we've got 3 in this one, so we're going to do 1.5 cups in this one. So that's 1/2 cup, a whole cup, and 1.5 cups. And in this one, we're going to do 1 cup. Now you want to use the quick cooking oats. It's what I've always used. And this is going to help be your binding agent. All right. There's my oatmeal. Next, we are going to do 1/2 cup chopped onions. I've already got all my onions chopped up. All right. A little extra for good measure. All right, that should be good there. All right, so we have our eggs, our milk, our oats, our onions. Now we need a teaspoon of salt. And that's going to be per pound. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, now, so we've got our ground beef. Now we are going to do 1 cup cheese per pound. Oh no, my bowl might be too small. I was afraid of this. Well, maybe we will mix this one first and then go back and put this one in there. We'll see. All right. Last but certainly not least, we can't forget the bacon. Now, I do not cook my bacon and crumble it myself. I do buy crumbled bacon, but this is the only thing I use, and it's the only thing I recommend. Every other bacon bit I've got has just been nothing but gristle. This has actual bacon in it, and it's really good. So I'm just going to put a couple generous handfuls in. Some over here. All right, looks beautiful. All right, now, can't forget my spices. So I am going to do garlic powder, onion powder, and I'm going to do parsley. And that will probably, and then pepper. I'm gonna put some pepper in as well. So we're just gonna put some onion powder in. I don't have measurements for you. I feel like seasoning is something your soul tells you when to stop. Just know that if I made it for you, it will not be lacking on flavor, I promise. And pepper. All right. Put all this to the side. Now, there's only one true way to do this. Let me move my cutting board. and that's with your hands. So just get in there and just start mixing all of it together. Looks like they ended up coming out with 3 meals of meatloaf instead of 2, which is awesome. I'm going to go ahead and seal these up into my space saver bags, and then that way they can be frozen. And then all they'll have to do is open them up, put them on a sheet pan with foil. I strongly suggest the foil. And then put your favorite type of barbecue sauce on top. I always do Sweet Baby Ray's. Just put about a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, however much you want on there. And then you bake it at 350 for 40 to 45 minutes. I do strongly suggest, though, thawing these out before you make them. That way your cook time is right. All right, so all of my chicken is done in my Instant Pots. What I have done is I have taken the chicken out of one of them, drained it, taken out my trivets, and then combined all the chicken into one Instant Pot. So now it's all in here. But now I need it shredded, but I'm not going to sit here and shred it all by hand. This is the greatest hack ever. But don't do it too long, because otherwise you'll have chicken dust instead of shredded chicken. So all you got to do is put it in, turn it on. And I think that took, what, 15, 20 seconds? And I just did 5 pounds of chicken and shredded it all up that fast. You're welcome. Okay, so now I have my next meal, which is my buffalo chicken chili that we're going to be doing. I'm going to make 2 of these. You want about 2 large chicken breasts shredded up in here. So I already have that in my bags. My bags are already labeled with the directions on them that tell you how to cook it in the slow cooker. Now, so about 2 large chicken breasts shredded up. Then you're going to do a can, and this is important. You want the fire roasted diced tomatoes. I promise you it makes a difference in the taste. So 1 can in each. And then you're going to do 2 cans of the white navy beans. Now I have already rinsed them and drained them. So we're going to put 2 cans in. So next we are going to put in about 2 cups of chicken broth. Just gonna kind of eyeball it. Oh, well, look at me making a mess. All right, so about 2 cups of chicken broth. Thank you. Minus what's on the table. And then I'm going to do, you're going to do 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of buffalo sauce. Of course, you can do as much or as little as you want, whatever kind works best for you. Because I'm making this for somebody else, of course, I'm going to do 1/4 cup. And I always typically, especially with like my family, some of us have more sensitive stomachs than others. And so what I will do is I will put the 1/4 cup in, and then anybody that wants to add hot sauce at the end can do so. All right, so, and then 1 packet of ranch seasoning. There we go. And then I do 12 ounces of frozen corn. It doesn't have to be frozen corn, but you're gonna freeze it, so frozen corn works just fine. Hold on just a second. All right, add that in. All right, now down to the good stuff. You're gonna put about 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. No, I don't measure. Again, I feel like your soul should tell you when to stop. Next is garlic powder, about the same amount or whatever you prefer. And then you want 1/2 teaspoon of celery salt or so. All right, and then you're gonna do some salt, about 1/4 teaspoon, not too much because you've got that celery salt in there, so it's gonna be a little salty with that. Now, you're gonna cook this in a slow cooker, about 4 hours on high, 6 on low. Basically, you're just heating it through because everything's already cooked in it, so you're not having to cook anything. You just want it heated up, but you also want to give those flavors time to all join in and marry themselves together nice and neat. But when you put this in a slow cooker, you want to take a block of cream cheese and cut it up on top, but don't mix it in. And then when you're done, go ahead and mix that up. And then we like to serve ours with the option of sour cream at the end. And also blue cheese for those of you that like buffalo blue cheese dip. So wonderful chili. It's one of our favorites, and I have actually won an award with this chili. So I mean, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but it is pretty good. So that's it for this one. 2 down, 2 more to go, and we're done. All right, so now we are on to our last recipe, and we are working on our chicken bacon ranch stuffed shells. I found this on Pinterest. We'll link it below for the recipe, but it's one I've used, and it's delicious. So I'm doubling it, so obviously it's doubled, but you're gonna do a stick of butter because I'm doubling it. It's 2, and then 4 cloves of garlic. So right now I'm making the sauce for the shells is what I'm doing. I've already cooked my shells. They're sitting in some cold water right now so that the noodles don't continue to cook. You want to make sure that when you do your noodles, you don't overcook them because they will just be mush once you bake them, because you will be baking them as well. So make them a little al dente so that they don't turn to mush in the oven. All right, so I've got my butter and my garlic melting down, cooking up. Then I'm going to be adding my cream cheese. So while that's cooking, I'm going to start cutting it up. will tell you, this is the best Alfredo sauce. It is delicious. All right. Looks like that's mostly melted. All right, so I'm just going to start cubing in some cream cheese. Alright, so now we're going to finish up the filling for our shells, for our chicken bacon ranch stuffed shells. So we're going to put some more ranch seasoning mix in here. We are going to add Colby Jack cheese and some bacon bits, bacon crumbles. Oops, don't want that in there. All right, and that's all that goes in there. And then we're just gonna mix all this together really good. Well, I thought the spoon would work. Hands always work better, right? All right, so it's all going to be mixed. It's going to look like that. Now, I've got my shells sitting in cold water now. This is to keep them from continuing to cook. So now I'm just going to take a spoon and put a liberal amount, well, hold on, inside your shell. Stuff it nice and good. And start your round. right, so only thing I have left to do now is to add the sauce to these, and then I'm going to cover them with 2 things of foil for the freezer. You do want to make sure that you defrost these as much as possible before you cook them, just simply so it doesn't add to your cooking time. But that's it, they're done. All right, so we are done with our day. It took me about 3 hours start to finish. So I ended up with 3 meals of the chicken bacon cheddar mini meatloafs. This is how I store them in my food saver bags. It just works the best to make sure that they stay individually sized out. And then I ended up with 2 pans of chicken bacon ranch stuffed shells. These will be cooked in the oven. Everything always tastes better when you let it defrost fully, so if you can, try to remember to stick it in the fridge a day or 2 ahead of time. And then we ended up with 2 bags of the buffalo chicken chili for the slow cooker, and then we have a balsamic pork roast for the slow cooker as well. That'll be really good. And then 2 things of Mongolian beef, which I have some broccoli to add to that at the end, and then 1 meal of the meatball subs. So they actually ended up with 11 meals today. Like I said, it took 3 hours, and we will make sure that we post the instructions to all the recipes down below. Hey guys, thanks so much for stopping by and checking us out today at Slinkard Party of 4. I hope you really enjoyed today's video. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe and bell so you get all the notifications of all of our upcoming videos. And make sure you join me next time as I tackle my pantry. It should be so much fun. Thanks guys. Have a great day. Bye.